Can you hear us?
I might come wave to you guys. Do it like I'm doing a speech. Zach, should we start?
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all good. Zach, first of all, how are you feeling, and what was your reaction to landing in the protocols again? I feel a lot better now. I should be testing out most likely today. I got a negative test, so that's good news. I feel a lot better. The first 2 days I felt terrible, but it sucks, man, especially with things you can't control. And missing a playoff game, elimination game where, obviously, you put so much into it, but I can't risk getting other people sick or even, injuring myself as well. It was just a terrible feeling, man. So it's just very unfortunate.
What's your knee, and what is the possibility you having some surgery?
I mean, obviously, I have to go into the off season and figure out how to get back to 100%. I was playing this year not at 100%, and figuring out what's the best plan of strategy to get my knee feeling back to normal. We were dealing with it a lot this whole year. I talked to my doctors. I even flew out there. You guys know this, and I'll take the same type of approach once I get back to LA. Go see my doctor, communicate with him, and figure out what's the best plan of action. Right now I don't know, so we'll figure that out soon.
I know you didn't want to get into too much of the details during the season, but now that we're kind of looking back on it, what did it take for you maintenance-wise to, manage the knee and get out there and play as much as you did?
I mean, everybody has to deal with, stuff throughout the year. I don't think anybody's playing at 100%. And, if you want to play, you're going to do whatever you can. And that's, hours of prep work or, our training staff, me having to annoy them at nighttime or early mornings to, just get me out there. So a bunch of prep work, obviously overtime work and, just training it. And, almost a little just mind over matter, because if you want to play, you got to go out there and sacrifice a little bit.
Is it tough when you're doing that, knowing that people are judging you based on your, what they can see? And this being a contract year, the people are judging you on your performance.
I mean, I think you guys noticed by me now, I don't really care what people think of me. I live up to my own expectations. I think I'm my hardest critic, and, I know what I was doing. I'm going out there, sacrificing, putting myself or my team, before myself, regardless of contract year. That's how important this year was for me, basketball-wise. And, me managing my knee at the percentage it was, I think I still had a hell of a year. I was an all-star, helped the team get back to the playoffs. I put up, really, really good numbers and, was able to maintain this and, really figure out how to play at not 100%. I think that was, impressive.
Zach, have you set a date yet for when you're going to be meeting with the doctors?
No, not yet. Once I get back to, my house and I get back to California, I'll probably schedule a date. I want to probably take a week off or something like that just to chill out, see my house, see my dog, see my mom, dad, and then I'll get into that.
Given with your free agency coming up, it's the first unrestricted free agency of your career, how do you plan to approach it when that time comes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a big decision, not just for me, but for my family. And, obviously I'm gonna take my time and, look into everything and, talk to it with my agent. I think it's a opportunity not a lot of people in my position actually get to. And I think it's exciting. And, I'm looking forward to it.
Arturas just said that he, had hoped that you will be a Bull and be here long term. Do you share that sentiment even as you're coming in and say that you want to take some time to make that decision?
Yeah, of course. And, I appreciate him saying that. Obviously, I understand the relationship that I have with Arturas and, everybody here. I've been here for the last 5 years and I've really enjoyed my time. I think the city, and I hope everybody understands how much, I care about the Bulls and what I've done for the city and things like that. So, I'm going into everything open-minded, but understanding that, my time here has been great and, we'll see what the future holds.
When you say consider everything, do you plan to take meetings with other teams when free agency opens?
I plan to enjoy free agency with, what it is in a whole. I think you're going to have to experience, A through Z, without making any fast decisions. I think that's something that me and Rich get to go through and experience.
Zach, there could be a scenario when, as you're talking to the Bulls, that they could say, we'll have a better chance of adding players if you take X amount instead of Y amount. Is that the kind of thing that would you be open to that kind of thing? Or how do you think negotiations are going to go?
I don't think I'm gonna have to be in the negotiations. I think they don't have to talk to Rich. So I think, for me, I get to, sit back and figure it out from that point of view.
You talked a little bit about your individual season, but from a team-wide perspective, for the Bulls, for the organization, do you consider this season to be a success?
I mean, yeah, we had very high goals, and I think everybody came into this, especially as a new team, really going after it and having a chip on our shoulders. Really came together as a really, close-knit group and guys going out there playing for each other, sacrificing for each other. I think you guys got to see that. It's just really unfortunate, what we had to really deal with. And everybody deals with things, and there's no excuses. Once you start the game, nobody really cares if somebody's injured or sick or isn't playing well, whatever it is. But we had a lot of scenarios that sucked for us this year where we were missing a lot of our guys, and for us to be number one team in the East going into All-Star break or tied for that, have a couple All-Stars, and then have guys step up with guys and out the lineups, make the playoffs for the first time in 5 years, 6 years, whatever it is. I think you can take moral victories out of that and build on it.
Zach, I know you did miss the last game, but what lesson did you learn being in the playoffs and what it takes to move on?
I mean, I think it's just first off, the Bucks are a really good team. They're a championship team. That's why they're, so good. They adjusted really, really fast. And I think it was a good experience for everybody, including myself, to see what a championship caliber team is like and how they adjust. For me, I think it was really good to go out there, obviously, and just get my feet wet with playoff experience. I still think it's basketball at the end of the day. It's nothing that's new to me. It's still, the goal is still 10 feet and the ball is still round. There's nothing that's going to change that drastically, but it's it's a good experience. It makes you want more and to get better.
Zach, what are some of the young guys like Patrick and Io and maybe even Kobe have to do this summer to kind of take their games up another level?
I mean, I think those guys did great this year, especially, dealing with the scenarios, Io being, a second round pick and really coming into his own, playing big time starter minutes when nobody thought he was going to and showing people how good he really is. Pat missing a lot of the season and then coming in and stepping in and fitting a role that we needed him to. That's tough for our guys in the second year. Same thing for Kobe, who's, been on the team and has had so many different roles from starting to coming off the bench to shooting, playing point guard. I think everybody did, a really good job for what the team asked them. And it's not just those guys going into offseason. Everybody has to look at themselves and evaluate what they have to do better to take their game to the next level. I think it starts from the top, down to the bottom.
Zach, I'm sorry to hammer on the contract thing, but you're kind of important to the organization. So that's why I'm going back to it. But if the organization from your knee perspective said, at last year's a little concerning, would you take offense if they asked for injury protection in the contract for the final year being guaranteed, like you got to play X amount of games, or is that something you're open to?
Like I said, I think they're going to put a lot of things on the table, and that's not going to be for me to really go in and argue with them for. I think that's what, Rich and AK get to discuss. Obviously, I've proven myself in this league and who I am as a player, so I think that's what I have him on my behalf for, to represent me and have those talks for. So it's obviously this is a business and everybody's going to try to take advantage of everybody at a certain point and going into negotiations. But I'm glad I get to view it from afar.
I got one more on the contract too, just because already people are freaking out. We're tweeting what you're saying. And people are freaking out because it is your right as an unrestricted free agent to look at everything and to go through the process slowly. But people are reading that as you're being non-committal to the Bulls. So, are the Bulls the leader in the clubhouse, or how should we view what you're saying?
You should view as, I've been here for the last 5 years. Obviously, you guys have, been a really, really soft spot in my heart. And, I have to do this as a business decision as a man to, not just be viewed one way and be like, oh, I'm automatically coming back or I'm automatically leaving, things like that. It's restricted or unrestricted free agency. I think, for my family, for me, and I have to go and look at this as a decision where I have to be open-eyed and, obviously, have to make my list and talk to everybody in the summertime.
Made that desire to have that open mind and explore those options with the front office, with the Bulls, and what was their kind of response when you guys talked at the end of the season?
Say that one more time.
Just have you conveyed in your conversations with the front office guys at the end of the season, have you conveyed that you're going to be open-minded and explore all options with it, and just kind of their response to that?
I mean, I think that they understand what unrestricted free agency is. They've been in this game for a long time, and I think they understand the relationship that me and them have. I'm going to be talking to them throughout the process, and I think it's going to be fine.
Did you see DeJounte Murray photoshopped you in a Spurs jersey already? Have you seen that?
Yeah, me and DeJounte are friends. I think he just wanted to mess with some people, man. He's a free soul, man. So he's a funny guy.
Guys, we're going to take a couple questions from Zoom now. Sam Smith, go ahead.
Zach, no matter one way or the other, did you have any thought after game 4, at home when you couldn't play 5, hey, that might have been my last game as a Bull?
No, I don't think that way. I think I was more worried about, I wish I could go out there and battle with my guys, especially, the circumstance of COVID. I've been playing, hurt the whole year. It had nothing to do with, if I was allowed to go play. I literally, it wasn't in my control. And I think that's what hurt me the most because, sick or not, I went out there and tried to play. I thought about just trying to drive to Milwaukee myself and seeing if they let me play. But it was more frustrating on my part, just knowing I was watching them, go fight their heart out, and I couldn't play.
One other thing quickly, sort of been addressed a little bit, but, to some players, it's just significant whether a team offers a player a maximum deal. Is that important to you?
I mean, I think it's important to me what, you get paid what you value that. And, I see myself as, top guy in this league. And I think I've proven that over the last 4 years. And, I think that's what, we're going into negotiating. I think that's what, Mark, AK, that's what, him, Rich, don't have to discuss.
Joe, go ahead.
Zach, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, boss?
Hey, real quick, obviously you didn't have control over the last deal with when they had to meet it when you were restricted free agent, and there's no doubt that you outplayed 3 of those 4 years easily. Does that come into the negotiation where you say or you at least say to Rich Paul, hey, look, I did you guys a solid for 3 years and was underpaid and gave you a chance to add pieces. Now it's time to take care of me.
When you say 3 out of the 4, what do you mean?
I mean, just for an example, I mean, you obviously played, your numbers outplayed the contract without question in the last 3 of the 4 years.
I thought it was 4 out of 4. Look at my
All right, 4 out of 4, whatever it is.
I don't know what 4 years you were looking at.
I mean, people are asking, are you willing to take a discount so they could afford other players and stuff? But didn't you kind of just do that? And does that come into play in your mind where you say, hey, I gave this organization time to add pieces because I was being vastly underpaid?
I mean, you said that, I didn't. Like I said, I'm gonna keep y'all with the same answer. We're going into unrestricted free agency. I think that's gonna be a negotiation that Rich, AK, and Mark get to talk about. And, I think I showed over the last 4 years, what type of player I am.
Gotcha. I got
My man.
Zach, I got a quick one for you. Just the offseason moves that were made last summer. What did that do for your level of confidence with this organization in terms of them just going out and making the right moves to put you in a position to compete at a high level?
It was huge, going out and, first off, getting a guy like Vooch at the trade deadline last year, adding young talent, and then getting a guy like DeMar DeRozan to come in here, And then the offseason we had with Lonzo and AC, bringing in a bunch of those guys is huge. It just shows that, that they were ready to win. And, obviously my first couple of years here, it was tough to have that feeling. And then, this year has been incredible, starting off from training camp, with those guys. I thought it was going to be a special year, and it was a very special group. And you could definitely tell the direction that, that Mark and AK were going on and going with, the moment they stepped in.
That factor into your decision-making this summer, knowing how aggressive that they have shown themselves to be?
Yeah, of course. You got to take everything into consideration. And, obviously, the team that we have here is something that you got to consider, how good that we were this last year. And, moving forward, you got to take all that into consideration.
You all have enough, though, Zach, to compete for a championship moving forward if you do decide to resign?
You said, do you think we have enough?
Do you think?
Yeah, I definitely do, because I don't think Rome was built in a year. I don't think you can be a championship, caliber team right off the bat. Maybe some teams are, but it's tough. And it's the first time a lot of us made the playoffs. I think it was a really good experience, and not all of us got to really even play together, due to circumstances of COVID and injury. So I definitely think this is a good team and has potential to be a championship caliber team.
One last one, since we got you. What are the factors that you're going to be considering as an unrestricted free agent when you look at your next destination?
That's a good question, because I don't even know yet. I think that's something that I get to go home with my wife and my family and discuss. Make a pros and cons list. I don't know, make me feel like I'm back in high school doing the Venn diagram. I don't know. It's something I haven't thought about yet. Over the last couple of days, I've just been trying to figure out how to feel better and get out of bed. So that's going to be a question I can answer later on in the summer.
Zach, I got one more, and I'm sorry if you've already touched on this, but I was dealing with fans passing out, parsing your free agency comments because my phone's blowing up right now. You played through a torn ligament in your thumb. You played on a knee that clearly limited you in a contract year. Not a lot of people would do that. Why did you do that?
I hope people understand that, and I think that's the sacrifices that we made. And, guys, on the team, we're dealing with a lot of stuff as well. I think mine started to become a little bit more public, but, I care about basketball a lot. Basketball is my life. And, I care about the guys in the locker room and on the team, coaches, training staff, everybody, because, we put so much into it. And so do I. I don't want to miss games when I can go out there and still be productive and play. And it might not be at 100%, but, I can still go out there and help DeMar, help Vooch, help Lonzo with me just being on the court. And, it showed because we were able to still win games. I don't feel like if I went and got surgery on my thumb in the beginning of the season, or shut it down at All-Star break and got surgery, whatever it would have been, I don't think we would have had the same year. I don't think it would have been as satisfying. Sometimes you got to play through things to really see the grit in the team, or, to see the value. So, I'm happy with the year. I'm happy I battled through, injuries, and regardless on the contract, I think you guys see where my mindset is and the type of player I am. I'm a fighter.
Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.